Al-Salaam alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah, ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. Hayya ala as-salah, hayya ala as-salah, hayya ala al-falah, hayya ala al-falah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله العظيم من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له. وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وصفيه من خلقه وحبيبه. بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة وكشف الله به الغمة وجاهد في الله حق جهاده حتى أتاه اليقين. فصلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه الأطهار وعلى سائر من اقتفى أثره واتبع هديه بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. ثم أما بعد. I am a witness to the undeniable truth that there is no God beside Allah, one and only, without any partners or associates whatsoever. And I am a witness to the undeniable truth that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, upon whom be peace, is his servant and his final messenger. There is no doubt that the best of speech is the book of Allah, and that the best guidance to follow is the guidance of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and that the worst of all affairs is innovation in Al-Islam, otherwise known as unprecedented actions of worship. Every innovation is a heresy. Every heresy leads to misguidance, and every misguidance leads to the fire. Ibadallah, servants of Allah, Allah Azza wa Jal commanded the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and informed him about the month of Ramadan. Prophet Muhammad said alayhi salatu wasalam about the month of Ramadan, قَدْ جَاءَكُمْ شَهْرُ رَمَضَانَ. The month of Ramadan has come to you. شَهْرٌ مُبَارَكٌ. it is a blessed month or a holy month. افترض الله عليكم صيامه. Allah has made it binding on each and every one of you to fast. تفتح فيه أبواب الجنة. All of the gates of heaven are open during the month of Ramadan. وتغلق فيه أبواب الجحيم. And all of the doors of the fire of hell are closed during the month of Ramadan. وتغل فيه الشياطين. And all of the devils are chained during the month of Ramadan. فيه ليلة خير من ألف شهر. There is one night within the month of Ramadan that is better than 1,000 months. Meaning one night of worship, if you worship Allah in that night, it is better than 1,000 months, which 1,000 months are actually more than 70 years. That's about a lifetime. One day is better than a lifetime of devotion. من حرم خيرها فقد حرم. Whoever does not benefit from the month of Ramadan is a loser. Allah Azza wa Jal told us in Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter number 2, verse number 183. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. O people who have committed themselves to faith, to belief, it has been made incumbent or binding on you to fast, just as it has been made binding on those who preceded you. لعلكم تتقون, with hopes that you will maintain self-preservation. Allah Azza wa Jal told us that we must fast the month of fast in general, of course, but he's talking about the month of Ramadan. He made it incumbent upon us, just as he made it binding on those who preceded us, with hopes that we attain self-preservation. What is taqwa? It is self-preservation. People translate it as piety or God consciousness. But from a purely linguistic perspective, taqwa means to protect yourself. It means to protect yourself. Allah Azza wa Jal showed us that through the institution of Ramadan, by staying away from what we need, we learn how to stay away from what we don't need. Allah Azza wa Jal told us that we must leave food, drink, and marital relations with one's spouse. We must abandon these three things from sun up to sundown, because he said no. But these three things are necessary for human existence. Humans must eat, humans must drink, and we must, in order to survive, procreate. We must procreate with our spouses and bring about children so that the next generation can come about. If we fail on any of these three things, we cease to exist as the human race. Allah Azza wa Jalla said those three things that you need are haram for you. Big X, from sunup to sundown. Those three things that you depend on for your survival are haram for you, from sunup to sundown. What is he teaching us? He's teaching us that if we can stay away from what we need from sunup to sundown, because he said no, then we can stay away from what we don't need, not only from sunup to sundown, but for a lifetime. What are those things that we don't need? We don't need fornication. We don't need gambling. We don't need intoxicants, whether drinking or smoking it. We don't need backbiting. We don't need lying. We don't need stealing. These things, he said, are haram indefinitely, not attached to a time frame, not attached to a month, not attached to a place. These things are always haram. They are always forbidden. But why are they forbidden? Every forbidden thing that Allah Azza wa Jal told us to stay away from, it is forbidden because it is detrimental, it is harmful, it is catastrophic for the human individual and society at large. Allah said repeatedly in the Quran about previous nations, وَمَا ظَلَمْنَاهُمْ وَلَكِنْ ظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُم. I did no wrong to them, he says, but they wronged their own selves. They did a disservice to their own selves. They were criminals harming their own selves. You and I, when we commit sins, we are hurting ourselves. We are wronging ourselves. And being wrong is something that we recognize. If somebody comes out the left and start cussing at you and calling your name, what you going to do? You're going to turn around, you're going to stick your chest out, you're going to say who you're talking to. You're going to respond to someone wronging you. But قَلَّمَا نَحِسُّ ظُلْمَ أَنفُسِنَا. Very infrequent do we feel it when we wrong ourselves. But Allah is telling us that that haram thing that you're doing or engaging in, it harms you, but it sets a precedence. It shows others as well to continue to perpetuate that harm in society. So when you and I commit an offense to God, we harm ourselves and we harm others. He wants to protect us from harming ourselves. He wants to protect us from harming others. So he said these things are forbidden. Stay away from them at all times. And then he said during the month of Ramadan, you must stay away from food and drink and intercourse, or relations with one's wife or spouses. You must stay away from those things, just as you stay away from pork on other days, just as you stay away from intoxicants on other days, just as you stay away from stealing and killing and all of these crimes, you stay away from them. Food, drink, and relations with one's spouse from sunup to sundown are haram. You may have heard before, oh yeah, Allah told us to fast in the month of Ramadan because he wants us to feel what poor people feel like when they don't eat. That is a lie. Allah Azza wa Jal doesn't want you to feel what the poor people feel by not eating. He wants you and I to maintain our own safety and security from wrongdoing. That's taqwa. He wants us to maintain that safety and security, because if we can stay away from wrongdoing, we can stay away from what the wrong leads to. And the wrongs that we do lead us nowhere but to hell. You want to protect yourself from hell? I want to protect myself from hell? We must stay away from evil deeds. Simple math is very simple. And we must implore and beg and plead for the mercy of the Lord of the worlds. We must do so and rely upon that mercy. That even in spite of our wrongdoings and our shortcomings and our mistakes, that he may accept us. And we hope in that. This is لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ أَيَّامًا مَعْدُودَاتٍ. Allah said, just for a number of days. You know, you start Ramadan, you think, oh man, 30 days. It seems like a long time, but he says, أَيَّامًا مَعْدُودَاتٍ. It's a couple of days. فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ. Whoever of you happen to be sick during the month of Ramadan, meaning you have a sickness you need to take a medicine for. Your head is hurting, your toothaches, you went to the dentist, you got a tooth pulled, you know, you have some cough or cold or flu or sickness. If you're sick or you're on a journey, you're traveling on the road, then you can make up those days on another time. وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ يُطِيقُونَهُ فِدْيَةٌ طَعَامُ مِسْكِينٍ. And whoever is unable to fast the month of Ramadan because they have either terminal illness or they've reached elder age, which is similar to terminal illness, you're unable to fast because of your age. But terminal illness could be cancer, it could be lupus, it could be any particular illness that you need to take medicine for. Then you feed a poor person for each day you miss. Now that poor person is going to receive from you wajbah mutawassita, a mid-grade or mid-sized meal, which in America, a mid-sized meal is about $10, which you get at Chipotle or one of those places where you get a mid-sized meal for $10, $12. That's a medium-sized meal, if not more. You give a poor person for each day, one of those meals. Now, of course, the homeless are obviously poor, but there are Muslim communities, Muslim families that are also poor. They fit that description. They have children. You find them, you give them the food. So for those of us who have terminal illness or elder age, or for those of our sisters who experience the monthly cycle during this month, or they have had a baby last month and as a result they are in postnatal bleeding and they miss all of this month, then you just make it up at another time. If you are able to, and if you have a terminal illness, of course, you do not make it up, you feed a poor person. Now, Allah Azza wa Jalla said, letting us know, فَمَنْ تَطَوَّعَ خَيْرًا فَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَهُ. Whoever does even more than that, meaning even if you feed more than one person per day, like you feed 60 people or 90 people, then that's better for you. وَأَنْ تَصُومُوا خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. But if you were to fast, meaning stay away from food and drink, and stay away from relations with one spouse from sunup to sundown, that is better for you if you only knew. Can you imagine? It's better to fast. He said, if you only knew, meaning if you only knew the reward of it, you would realize that it's better for you to fast. Then he mentioned the great benefit and blessing that he gave us in the month of Ramadan. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. The month of Ramadan in which the Quran was revealed. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam received اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق in غار حراء. He received the first verses of the Quran. Read in the name of your master who created. He received that in a cave by the angel Gabriel during the month of Ramadan. What is the purpose of this Quran? Hudan linnas. It is a guidance for people. وَبَيِّنَاتٍ مِنَ الْهُدَى وَالْفُرْقَانِ. And it clarifies every single thing that needs clarity from criterion and from all types of guidance. This puts everything in its place. Wherever you can find goodness or guidance or justice, you look at the Quran and you look at that thing and you see that the Quran agrees with it. And the Quran facilitates it. This means we are constantly supposed to depend upon this Quran. We're constantly supposed to refer to this Quran. We're constantly supposed to lean on this Quran. He chose this month to reveal the Quran. فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيَصُمْهُ. Therefore, whoever of you are resident, meaning not traveling, during the month of Ramadan, you must fast. وَمَنْ كَانَ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرَ. Whoever is, however, sick with a headache or fever or flu or a cold or monthly cycle, for example, then you make it up on other days. Aisha used to say, we used to make up our fast of Ramadan during the winter time. Why is that? She's an intelligent woman. She said we made it up during the winter time. Why is that? Because the days are shorter. You might be worried, well, I have so many fasts, I missed those. And I was trying to make it up, then I ran out of time. Don't worry. You continue to make those up after the month of Ramadan. You may say, hey, well, I did half. I swore that I would do or that I wouldn't do. I made an oath to God, and then I broke that oath, and I want to fast 3 days. Well, you can't fast those 3 days with Ramadan. Those are different. You got to fast your Ramadan days, and those 3 days that you've broken the oath for, you fast those at another time. Or any other type of fasting that you have to make up. You might say, well, I got to make up last month Ramadan, so I'm going to do 2 for 1. I'm going to, whatever I missed, I'm going to join it with these days of Ramadan. It doesn't work like that. You have to fast the month of Ramadan and make those up later in the beautiful precedents that Aisha showed us that she fasted in the winter time. So you can wait till winter and make up those days when the days are shorter. He said, يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ. Allah wants things to be easy for you. وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرَ. And He does not want things to be difficult for you. وَلِتُكَمِّلُوا الْعِدَّةَ وَلِتُكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةَ وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. He wishes that you fulfill the time frame of Ramadan by making it up later. And He wants you to magnify Allah, because He guided you. وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. And He wants you to show gratitude. Isn't that amazing? Then He lets us know. وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ. If any time my servants ask you about me, then they should know that I'm near to them. أجيب دعوة الداعي إذا دعاني. I'm so near to them that whenever someone calls upon me, I will answer every time. You and I have cell phones. We pick up the phone, somebody calling us. We don't have time right now, or I don't want to talk to this person. What I do? Either cancel the call, send a message, can't talk right now, talk to you later, call me back, I'll call you back. But Allah, every time you call him, he said, I answer every time. He doesn't decline the call, ever. He answers every single time. But he wants us to do something in return. فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي. They should answer me. They should answer me. Can you imagine? Rabbul Alameen, the Lord of the worlds, answers us every time we call. He calls us, we don't answer. He calls us, we decline the call. We reject the call. How are we doing when we feel like it? We practice Islam instead of Islam. We are all guilty of it, myself included. We find ourselves conveniently practicing as we feel like at that moment, or conveniently missing at that moment as we feel like it. That's Islam, that's not Islam. Because he answers us every time we call, and we reject his calls sometimes. May Allah forgive us. But he said, Azza wa Jal, they should answer me and they should believe in me. لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشُدُونَ. So that they may find their way. They can find the direction. By what? How do you find your way? By listening to Allah. By answering Allah. By believing in Allah, you will find your way. فَالنِّعْمَةُ عَائِدَةٌ عَلَيْنَا. You see, in all of these cases, the benefit actually comes upon us. We benefit from these things, but Allah benefits nothing. He's the giver and we're taking. And he gives with no limit. May Allah give us success. Alhamdulillah hamdan la inqita'a lahu. فليس إحسانه عنا بمقتول ثم الصلاة على خير الأنام محمد فإنه على خصال الحمد مطبول. And the end of that hadith, Prophet Muhammad said, من حرم خيرها فقد حرم. Whoever does not get the benefit of Ramadan is a loser. What can you benefit if you don't benefit from Ramadan? This lets us know that Ramadan is such an opportunity that only a person that has no brain and no heart will miss the benefit of Ramadan. That they would make a bad investment by wasting the days of the nights of Ramadan on frivolous, useless, detrimental things. And if you and I did that, then we've missed the benefit of Ramadan. It is a massive opportunity to gain. And a massive opportunity to erase one's bad deeds and bad conduct. A massive opportunity to get ever so near to God. Rabbul Alameen. And it is a massive opportunity to take those opportunities seriously. And nagtanim al-furas. Anytime we see an opportunity, take it. Because that might be your last one. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam studied the Quran with Jibreel in the Ramadan before his death. He studied it twice. And prior to that, as you all know, he used to study the Quran with Jibreel once in Ramadan. But in the Ramadan prior to his death, he studied the Quran twice. He took advantage of his time. Now, you and I might not be able to study the Quran twice, but we can listen to the Quran. You know, sometimes you read the Quran and you run out of breath because you're tired, and you keep reading, you get tired, and listen to it. Listen to a tafsir, an explanation of the Quran. Read as much of it as you can. Implement it. You can even find a teacher these days. You can look on the internet, find somebody to recite the Quran with you. Or read to a friend of yours. The opportunities are endless when it comes to the Quran. But more importantly than reciting, to understand and implement. And you will have the opportunity as well to pray Taraweeh, pray the supererogatory or extracurricular prayer in the masjid. But Umar used to say, وَالَّذِينَ يَنَامُونَ عَنْهَا خَيْرٌ مِّنَ الَّذِينَ يَحْضُرُونَهَا. Whoever is asleep at the time of Taraweeh prayer, they are better than those who are present. Why? Because Umar used to wake up at night. The major Sahaba, they used to wake up at night before Fajr. And they would pray at that time. If you go to sleep right after the Isha, if you can't make it to the masjid, alhamdulillah, don't fret, don't worry. You go to sleep right after Isha or very close to Isha, so that way you wake up. Before Fajr, you pray at that time. Those 2 raka'at that you pray by yourself, it's better than 20 raka'at you pray with the Imam. Yes, Prophet Muhammad gave us a concession. He told us, alayhi salatu wasalam, that if you pray with the Imam until he finishes, you get the reward of praying all night. But that's not like the person who left, went home, went to sleep, woke up by himself. وَنَاجَى رَبَّهُ سِرًّا. He indulged in a private conversation with his master. That person is better. Either way, we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to give us one of those two. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to accept us during the month of Ramadan. And we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to save our brothers and sisters in Gaza and Palestine, Lebanon and Sudan and Iraq, Afghanistan and Kurdistan. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to save our brothers and sisters in Syria and Yemen and all over the world, in Somalia and all over the world, Ya Rabb al-Alameen. Allahumma arina al-haqqa haqqan warzuqna ittiba'ah, wa arina al-batila batilan warzuqna ijtinabah. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Aqim as-salat.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
استووا تراصوا تقاربوا صوت الفرج. Back of the heels in line. Shoulder to shoulder. Please shut your phones. Allahu Akbar. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Jazakumullah khairan, barakallahu ta'ala fikum. Quickly, if you parked in the middle, please remove your car. And alhamdulillah, those of you who would like to sign up to do iftar, to sponsor breaking of the fast, please see Muhammad Tarek. Raise your hand, Muhammad Tarek. And Ma'al Fasih as well. Please, they will get the reward of their fast, as Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said. And furthermore, there are some calendars outside. I hope there are some on the sister side as well. These are Ramadan calendars. Take them with you and use them. And last but not least, we depend upon Allah Azza wa Jal. Then your generosity, please be as generous as you can. Somebody dropped some keys too. So come see me if you drop some keys. You won't be able to drive your car without these keys.